Oh, hi. You just caught me about to play some Five Nights at Freddy's, the horror icon released in 2014. Almost 10 years old. Hard to believe, isn't it? Well, I'm doing a custom night right now. I want to make sure that my skills are sharpened enough before I actually start the game proper. So we're just gonna see how it goes, okay? So it didn't go great.
Just gonna push this back a little bit. Yeah, that's
about as good as we're gonna get. Just gonna iron it. It's fine. So it starts with this guy named William Afton, and he likes to make animatronics, but he also has a partner named Henry who's better at it than him. So William Afton does the only thing that's plausible, which is kill his daughter. Now he made this animatronic called a puppet, and the puppet was supposed to essentially make sure that the kids who entered the pizzeria, the Five Nights at Freddy's, were not gonna leave without their parents finding them. So they all had these wristbands, and the security puppet noticed that Henry's daughter, her name is Charlie, was outside of the restaurant. So this puppet tried to find her, but he ended up just finding Charlie's dead corpse, killed by William Afton, aka the purple guy. So Henry kind of becomes a recluse after this, but William has 3 children of his own. He has Evans, which is his youngest, then Elizabeth, which is his daughter, and Michael, which is his oldest. So Evan Afton, Elizabeth Afton, and Michael Afton. He also has a wife. We don't know what the wife's name is. She doesn't matter. So, anyways. Oh, I just remembered I'm wearing green. That's fine. So, anyways, Michael Afton hates that he has to watch his brother all the time because William Afton is so engrossed in his work, which is making animatronics, that can murder children, because after you murder one child, you kind of get a taste for it, you know? So, in 1983, his brother Evan has a birthday party. This is where the bite of 83 occurs. So, Michael Afton, he's a bully, he puts Evan into Fredbear's mouth, which in turn makes Evan die, obviously, which obviously after that you don't really want to have a strong connection with your dad because you kind of murdered your brother. So Michael becomes kind of a recluse. Julian, please, I'm recording something, buddy. Jesus Christmas?
Oh my god.
Okay. Cordy, will you grab him, please? Thank you. So anyways, Michael Afton becomes kind of a recluse after this. And then, because William Afton is so upset about his son dying, he decides that he's not going to let either of his children near any of the animatronics again, which is kind of a smart idea because they already killed one of the children. But Elizabeth Afton, she really wanted to hang out with this one animatronic named Baby, so she hangs out with Baby, and Baby kind of has this thing where her stomach opens up and she can eat children to gather their soul energy, and the soul energy from Elizabeth Afton got put into Baby, so now Elizabeth Afton is Baby. Then, in 1985, William murders 5 children who go on to possess Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Golden Freddy. And those are the 5 from the first game. And then in 1987, at the new location, which has all of the toy animatronics, Freddy Fazbear gets shut down because a night shift guard named Jeremy gets his frontal lobe bitten off. We're not sure who did it, but we think it's Mangle. Okay. So anyways, after 1987, he keeps murdering children. But, so overall he has 11 children murdered, including Charlie, but not including the children that he indirectly murdered. Michael is his only child alive right now. He's kind of separating himself from that. And Michael is old enough at this point that he's not gonna, try and kill himself via animatronic. You understand? So, then the next thing happens, and the next thing is what happens. What happens next? Well, Springtrap. So, Michael Afton is like, okay, I gotta dismantle these animatronics because they keep killing night guards. Because they do. That's what the whole point of the game is. So I gotta dismantle them because otherwise I'm gonna lose my business. So he dismantles them, but that lets their souls free, and for some reason their souls are able to like haunt him. So he thinks the only way to get rid of them is to jump into his old Spring Bonnie suit, and he used the Spring Bonnie suit to lure the 5 children that he killed in 1985. Watch the FNAF movie for more details. But then afterwards, Michael Afton is essentially kind of gone from the story for 30 years. Well, sorry, not Michael Afton. William Afton is gone from the story for 30 years, where Michael Afton takes over. So Michael Afton is the night guard on the last night of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 for all of Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 3, but 3 is set in 2023. Obviously, we all know this. It's set 30 years in the future, and that's where Springtrap comes back into the picture because they find him. And Springtrap is half man, half machine because the Springlock suits killed him while he was in the Springtrap suit. But because his like desire and will to keep living, he lived through that. So what Michael Afton does is essentially he burns down every location after he's done working there for a week. Or on the case of night 2, just the night 7 or the last day before the location closes down due to being burned. But Michael Afton didn't do any of this before he went to Circus Baby's rentals, because that's where he was able to find his sister inside of Circus Baby. But Circus Baby is evil, and she's a daddy's girl, kind of. So she wanted to scoop Michael out, all of his guts, and put her and her friends, so her friends are Funtime Foxy, Funtime Freddy, and Ballora. And we'll get to those 3 later. And essentially they all go inside of Michael Afton, who now has his organs scooped out. But eventually they decide, this is whack. This body that we've inhabited keeps decomposing. So eventually they leave while Michael Afton somehow stays alive. But now he is literally a purple guy because he's a decomposing corpse. So after that, there is a big time gap. We don't know what Michael does for these next 30 years. Probably just gets the rest of the locations closed. But Fazbear Frights, which is where Springtrap is in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, Michael Afton's working there, and he's like, you know what, I'm done with this. So he burns that location down. So now Springtrap is Scrap Trap, who is a worse looking redesign of Springtrap. And afterwards, he essentially is done. So Michael Afton opens new pizza franchise, which is where Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator takes place. And because of this, he lures all of the remaining animatronics. So that's Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, Baby, and Ballora, who have separated. They went their different ways because obviously the robots can have disagreements. They're not robots. They're people at this point. And his dad, and also the puppet that became Charlie, because that was the only reason the puppet was able to give the rest of the animatronics life, because the only reason she got life was because of the security ban, but she was able to give the other animatronics life because she was the daughter of the guy who originally made the animatronics. This is all common knowledge. So then, finally, there was the final one, and the final one was in Pizzeria Simulator, where Henry actually lured all of the animatronics, but not Michael Afton. There was a specific person that he wanted to get the job, but it wasn't Michael Afton. We don't know who that person is. But Michael Afton, essentially, Henry torched the place with all of the animatronics inside, because if you burn the animatronics, it lets their souls go free. If you dismantle them, it doesn't. So, essentially, all of the animatronics, like children's souls, are free, including Elizabeth Afton, and then Michael Afton gets to die knowing that his family is, like, safe and done. And William Afton goes to hell. Canonically, he does, and that's what Ultimate Custom Night is. It's his eternal, unending hell. And then there's Help Wanted, which is essentially a retcon of the series, so I'm not going to get into it. And then Security Breach, which is essentially a reboot of the series for a much younger audience. So I wasn't that into Security Breach, if I'm gonna be honest, but that's where Vanessa comes from. Vanessa is a security guard in Security Breach, which is why she is in the movie as Vanessa, the police officer. So that's all of the FNAF lore, explained by yours truly in a not coherent way. Alright, hugs and kisses, good night.